Okay, this is Orlando Wilson, and what I want to talk about in this video slash podcast is photography. To me, it's something which is very much overlooked in the close protection world, and even to some extent in the private investigation world. But photography is an essential skill. If you come to me now and say, what makes more sense, getting firearms training or photography training, I would say learn to use a camera. Why? Because you're going to use it on a daily basis. Firearms are banned in most places. Again, if you're working internationally, chances are you're not going to have access to firearms. If you live in places like the US and you can legally carry firearms, of course, get training. But again, you're going to use a camera a lot more than you are a firearm. From the close protection perspective, cameras are used in, well, put it this way, start with the basics, advanced phase planning. If we're sending somebody a couple of days in advance, a week in advance to look at locations, routes, etc., restaurant menus, all this can be videoed, all this can be taken. We can take pictures of a lot of things that can be sent back, brought back, that can be put into your plans, preparations, etc., briefings. Even down to selecting hotels for the client, what works for them, what doesn't work for them, routes in, routes out, endless. Advanced security and operational phase. Well, if there's any issues along the routes, if there are any changes, if there's any suspicious people, etc., etc. Guys with the client, again, pictures of any threats, pictures of any issues, again, even down to taking receipts to make sure you get your money back for buying meals, drinks, etc., etc. Protective surveillance is all about photography. You need to be photographing, taking video pictures of what's going on around the client, and also pictures, video of any potential threats. So that's just a quick brief on photography for close protection. And there's a lot more that I could talk about, but I won't as far as close protection is concerned. Private investigations, yes, surveillance. Of course, everybody knows about this. Everybody knows about, well, you should know, taking pictures of documents, suspicious people, targets, etc., etc. It's a basic skill. These days, you do not need fancy cameras. You don't need SLRs with, how can I put it, without getting too technical, the large lenses. You get a decent cell phone with a decent camera on it. Most cell phones these days will come with at least a 10 zoom, and learn how to use the camera on your phone. That should be ample for everything. The other thing as well, these days you very rarely see people walking around with camcorders, very rarely see people walking around with large cameras. Maybe if you're in a tourist area. But everywhere you see people using their phones to talk on, video chats, take selfies, take pictures, etc. So get a phone with a decent camera. That makes a lot more sense to me than going and buying a camcorder or some Gucci SLR. GoPros, I'm a big GoPro fan. They have an application, but that's another video. Photography, other types of cameras. Also look into, if you're in the, how can I put it, if you're in the private investigation business, etc. Also, you need to be wise about covert cameras for surveillance. There's an array of cameras out there these days. In the future, I will do a video on covert cameras. They're not that expensive. A lot of them come with Wi-Fi, and again, they can be very well disguised discreetly. So you need to be aware of what covert cameras are on the market. That's about photography. Also, you need to be aware of people taking pictures of you, people using covert cameras against you, etc. And again, that's another topic. These days as well, if you've seen with the videos I've done with Dionysus, you also need to be aware of drones. Drones taking pictures of you, drones following you, etc. Yes, there are rules and regulations in place. The law-abiding people can't do that, but the criminals don't care. There's been numerous cases where drones have been used to do reconnaissances on villas before the criminals went in to rob the villa, and also to make sure that there's nobody in the villa as the criminals are jumping over the fences. So again, you need to be aware of drones these days. So you know what, photography is a very big topic, and it's an essential topic if you're in the close protection or private investigation business, and it's something which I focus on the courses, because I always make sure the guys and girls, getting plenty of pictures and plenty of videos. It's an essential skill. I've got an article up online, reference photography. So if you check out my blogs, the Risk Inc. blog, and also Truth Only Has a Few Friends blog, there's some information up there. Also, there's chapters in some of the books I've got up online on Amazon to do with photography for close protection, etc., etc., etc. But it is an essential skill. If you have any questions, if you're connected with me on social media, feel free to send me any relevant questions. In the meantime, follow us along on social media. There's a lot more videos going up on, there's a lot up already, and there's more going up on various aspects of the security business, close protection, etc., etc., etc. So follow us along on social media, check out the blogs, check out my books. They should be able to answer most of your questions.